Welcome back, everybody, to episode 22 of the Exit Row. I'm your host, Adama Anderson, here with Justin Moore,
Yo.
Paige Larson,
Hey, guys.
and we're waving to you on the camera. Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hey, guys. So, yes, it's episode 22, which also means it is our 1 year of being the Exit Row. So, let's go ahead and...
Woohoo! That's so crazy. A year has gone by so fast.
Feels like it's been longer and shorter all at the same time.
I
Yes.
feel the same way.
Yeah, and the numbers, it's not episode 27 or season 2. We're continuing it with episode 22. So, I like it.
I like it.
Yeah. Hey, so there's been a lot of traveling. Unfortunately, with the two of the three of us, but we got some traveling coming up soon.
It's a big one.
Another Adama and Paige episode coming.
Big one.
Oh yeah, here we go. Hey,
If you just listen for me, you might as well just tune out. I got nothing to say today, to be honest.
just go to the 60th minute, and we'll be there.
Yeah, I'll talk to you here. I'll be back in about 50.
Hey, so let's talk about going to Charlotte,
Yes.
Paige. So yes, so we went to Charlotte. We left here Omaha. We took Southwest
My BB.
out to Chi-Town, Chicago, to Chicago Midway. Okay, so for those who haven't landed at Chicago Midway,
It's so cool. Maybe a little bit scary to some if you don't know what's going on.
yeah,
and
because
you've
you're
never
landing
flown
on
in
somebody's
there.
house, it seems. Right?
Right.
I think that was my first time at the Chicago Midway, and I was like, oh, this okay.
I warned you about it ahead of time, I remember saying.
You did, and I
was
did not
like-
believe you.
I was like, it's going to look like we're landing on these houses. Like, you're going to want to make a break for the emergency exit, but rest assured, it's normal. And I thought that, too, my first time flying in and out. It's just super cool. So,
Yeah, and then like landing there, it's super like they immediately are putting the brakes on because it's just such a small airport.
yeah.
And yeah, so that was a quick, easy flight, and then going Chicago. Now we had a short connection, and our connection kept getting shorter and shorter,
Yeah.
and we made it.
Well,
in
our gates
time.
were right by each other, so that made it easy.
Yeah, that does.
But yeah, they were boarding our group as we got there, so we got there just in time.
It's called efficiency. That's nice.
Yep.
Yeah, and where were we on our boarding pass?
Like 8:22, so we were up there. I mean, so we didn't have a lot of time to spare.
Wait, the real question is who boarded first?
Oh, let's not. But yes,
Sounds like we know the answer to that question.
Yes. Like,
I'm just gonna say maybe it's alphabetical. Okay.
It's definitely not.
it's not.
So,
It-
so
it
just to
can't
clear it up, Adama boarded first.
Yes, that is correct.
Both flights.
Yes, both.
Nice. Was there any room between you two or no?
Yeah, there was no room. We were.
No, I
right-
meant like were you
like-
like he's A21, you're A22.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's what I'm saying. Yep.
Not versus
back
I meant
to
like
back.
spaces in like when we went to Fort Lauderdale. Like there's
Yeah.
people between us. Yeah.
Yeah. No, there was no
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Good for you, Adama.
Thanks. Thanks.
you know
Every
what?
time. I'm gonna take it. Right.
She says it doesn't matter, but clearly it matters.
I take the dub. I take the dub. Especially.
if
Y'all are making.
if I
it
were to fly
matter.
Southwest with her tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I would board ahead of her as well.
I think so.
Whatever.
It's.
Anyway, continue. Sorry
it
about that.
happens.
I just thought that needed to be stated.
So, yeah. So then we took our flight out to Charlotte. Right.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to Charlotte. Was that your first time at the Charlotte airport?
Yes, and that was my 20th state actually when I landed in Charlotte.
State number
Nice.
20.
Yeah.
Arrived at the Charlotte airport. We were picked up by Matt
Yep. Matt Garcia.
Garcia, who used to be a ramper out here in Omaha.
Yep. For Piedmont.
And so now he works out in Charlotte.
Yep.
And yeah, so we went out to meet him. By the way, I wanted to say with the Charlotte airport, what I did notice on the way back when we were going out to Plane Spot with Matt, that the Charlotte airport actually has, because it's the home of NASCAR, it actually looks like one of the, I don't know, I'm not too much into NASCAR, but like, you know how on the side of the racetrack it has like, it says, you know, what not airport, what race,
Speedway?
what speedway you're at. So the airport looks like it's a racetrack on the outside.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I think
I've
I
only
kinda
connected through
recognize
Charlotte,
that.
and both times it was a
Yeah.
madhouse. For some reason, that's the only thing I remember about Charlotte. It's just complete chaos and madhouse that day.
Yeah.
It kind of was that way on our Delta flight because they had no seating at our gate. Remember that?
Oh yeah, when we left Charlotte.
There was no seats
Yeah, so
at all.
that was Delta. The Delta.
Paige is fast forwarding here.
Yeah, she is.
'Cause I just
So-
now remember that.
Okay, so we'll get back to that in a bit. So we hung out with Matt, right?
Yep.
And Matt showed us around. He showed us some plane spotting locations there at the Charlotte airport.
And this is pre-opening of the Lookout, which it had now opened today as we're recording this.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I have to go back for that.
Yeah. So we were there at the Charlotte airport. He showed us the Piedmont operations over there.
Yeah.
At Charlotte. First off, we did get to look along the fence line. He told us about this crazy lady. I should say crazy
Oh, the
lady.
Lufthansa lady.
There's
yes.
there's a Lufthansa lady at Charlotte who, whenever the Lufthansa A350 or anytime it
A350.
lands at Charlotte, she does some spiritual thing for the flight every time.
It's
And,
like kind of like a daily ritual. She goes out
Like
there.
she's an
every day.
employee, or is she someone weird like on the outside?
she looks weird on the outside. She's not an employee.
Like she's like a fan.
Well, the speculation is that she lost someone in a Lufthansa crash because and there's videos out there every day she does this. It's like a song, I guess, and then when the plane lands, she like gets on her knees and cries, and then the
Is
plane.
she like behind? Is she on the tarmac?
She's not on the
No.
tarmac. No.
See, that's
No,
what I'm
just-
asking. Like, is she
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah,
employee?
yeah.
Like,
She's
that's what I'm asking.
outside
no.
the fence.
outside
so
the
she's
fence,
she's like a Paige. She's like a crazy person outside.
You could say that, yes.
not to that extent.
It's
I
like
am
when a
not
Southwest
that.
plane flies into Omaha. She's like, oh, gotcha. Okay, understood.
No.
So yeah, I would say look at TikTok and look at that, and you can find out information.
Google
about
Lufthansa
her and
lady
see who
and-
she is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then before we got to the airport, he took us to a brewery.
Yeah.
That's right. And it was Pilot Brewing Company,
Opened
and-
by a pilot.
opened by a pilot, a Delta pilot, even though they're American
Right.
based. It was a Delta pilot who opened up Pilot Brewing Company. So he took us there before we got on our flight that day. We did some plane spotting. Showed us the Piedmont operations was actually is in the old Charlotte Airport terminal.
Yep.
So from the one from like the 1970s and 60s. Also showed us like you could see a model of what the Charlotte Airport looks like. But yeah, we were able to see the Piedmont operations, what was open at that time.
Yeah. So it was a Sunday. Yeah.
And then we went out to the parking garage at the airport, which Paige. So let's talk about the flight from the Charlotte flight out. You checked in something.
Wait, so real quick though, you guys were in Charlotte. You went to a soccer game too. Just mention what you did there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we went
out
to the
a
soccer game, yeah.
because Galaxy fans. So
Which, by the way, that's a really cool stadium where the Panthers play. I didn't realize that's where the game was until you posted something.
right,
It's a great
Yeah.
view beside that you said.
it's such a beautiful view, and it had been raining all day, and then the sun came out, and it was
Yes.
just
Yeah, I didn't realize that's where they played until you posted something. That stadium's sweet.
it's pretty nice.
But
I
It
was-
was
I
nice.
just want to make sure that was mentioned.
yeah.
We did that and we went to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. So two notable
By the way, I
things
didn't know
we
you
did.
were a NASCAR fan. That's news to me.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched it since I was a kid. I don't religiously watch it now the way I used to.
I would
But-
not have pegged you as a NASCAR girl.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I found that shot. I've realized since I've started to know Paige these last couple of years, you're the type of person that goes to a museum and takes pictures of everything. Anyway, move on.
Some things, yeah.
I should clarify. I am not a NASCAR fan. It's just, but I did grow up in the South, so NASCAR.
I don't mind F1, but
Everywhere.
I can't stand NASCAR.
Right, F1's pretty good.
I
So
wouldn't have pegged Paige. That's all I'm trying to get at. I would not peg Paige as a NASCAR.
I mean, she does go.
Posted that thing on Facebook. You're like at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, but she does go to like truck pulling things. And,
Tractor
like,
pulls
with
my
tractor
dad, yeah.
pulls
That's
and
right.
yeah.
Country
So it's
Yep.
it's showing, guys. It's showing.
rock talk.
So we left.
No shame.
So we got to Charlotte Airport, ready to leave. But yeah, like you said, Delta. First off, let's go ahead and talk about what you did. So Paige has this idea.
So I got a little bit of inspiration from the TSA, social media pages. If you follow them at all, the crazy things they post, like especially like their dad jokes and stuff like that. But they'll also feature people who check weird things in. And mostly you see it with Southwest.
I was gonna say that's where I've seen videos of Southwest, like checking pool noodles and stuff like
yeah,
that.
it's Southwest. They're there for that. So honestly, I may do it again with Southwest because they kind of support it. But with Delta, I was shocked that they even let me do it. But I just got this idea Sunday, not long before we went out there. I was like, what if I just found like a big, mid-sized rock like this, and just checked it because we had 2 free bags. So I thought, why not? And we were at Pilot Brewing, and I just found this nice little rock in a rock
Little.
pile. Not exactly little.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like, oh, what did she say it was? 3 pounds or something like that, maybe?
You keep on talking about it. Yeah, it's about 3
And
pounds.
how do you not have it here?
You know what? Yeah, he's gonna go get it. Yeah, it was like 3 pounds because they weighed it. But I went up, I got in line, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous.
I mean, what's the worst case that happens? They say no. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Why were you nervous?
Just, I guess more nervous about like, if they're gonna take it, like anxious, But I went up there and I went up to the lady. I was like, I am about to make your day. I'm gonna check this rock right here.
So if you're looking at the video, this is the rock.
Yeah. And she was like, huh? And it's just the way she said it, and her expression was just so confused. And I was like, yeah, I'm dead serious. I know this is really weird, but this is happening. She's like, I don't know if we can check that. She's like, let me go look. And I had to sign a form for weird item or whatever, special item, and she wrapped it in a bag. And the funny part about it was, since we were first class, is that it got a priority tag on it.
Yeah. That's the best part. Yeah. I noticed that in the video. That was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Of the video.
It got the priority
There's
tag.
literally people's bags that have literal things in them that got less care taken, but you had this rock go priority. So awesome.
Yeah, that's the funny part. And but she looked it up and asked someone else, and they were like, there's no restrictions or saying anything, we can't do it. So she wrapped it up in this little bag and taped it up, and she was like, this is history. This is the first time we have ever seen this. And she put it in this little bin and sent it on its way to the conveyor belt. And Delta has the bag tracking thing on the app, and so I was tracking
like any normal
it,
airline. Like any normal airline.
And
You guys had a connection, right? So it had to connect.
yes, in Atlanta,
Right.
too. And I thought it was gonna get lost in Atlanta. Like
I remember you mentioning like on the text, like I was confident it would make it, like especially if you
I was confident it was too. It's Delta.
I thought it was 0% chance that it would not make it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I thought this is good to go.
Yeah, I mean it's just so small. I was like, it's gonna get lost somewhere. But we get to Omaha, and there it comes through the conveyor belt. And Adama, you saw it because.
Yes, 'cause it
whatever
was-
your angle was at, because it was smashed between 2 bags.
Yes, in between 2 bags, this little rock was put in between 2 bags.
You can check out Omaha Spotter Page. You did post a video, so if you want to see
Yeah.
this like in action,
Yeah,
you did put a little video together.
I did. Yep, I put a reel together for it, and
It was awesome. I will say, because that's some of my favorite things I've seen online. It's like when people, like I said, check a pool noodle or something weird like that.
Yeah.
It was great. I did laugh literally out loud, like a literal LOL when you did send us that. Yeah. I was like, that's smart. I was proud of you for doing something super funny, to be quite honest. I was really proud of that. That was hilarious.
And I was kind of hoping she would, well, that they weren't gonna like tape it up in a bag, I guess. But it's kind of company policy, I guess, for them. Southwest, not so much. but
Southwest would just wrap the tag around it.
Yep.
Yeah.
that's what I was hoping they would do.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so she questioned. She's like, or she looked at she looked at you and she's like, "Ma'am, you've got to put this in a bag or something." You're like, "No, this
is all.
is what I got."
I only have 1 bag, and I can't check it because of camera batteries and stuff like that. So
Yeah, you did it. Congratulations.
thank you.
Nice work on that. That was awesome.
Yep.
Shout out to The Rock,
I'm gonna
not Dwayne Johnson.
Not Dwayne Johnson.
not that. No, I'm gonna put googly eyes or something on that rock. Really make it.
Did
my
you
own.
did you give the rock a name?
I haven't yet.
Okay, that works.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, so let's continue on a little bit before we take a break. So came back to Omaha, and then I left, and I went out to Milan. So with Milan, I flew Omaha to JFK. I did this the morning of. I was trying to do something the day before, but everything wasn't working out. And so I flew into LaGuardia, but my flight to Frankfurt on the 747 with Lufthansa was at JFK. So I had to navigate.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about this.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
to navigate.
You did the bold move of flying into LaGuardia and leaving out of JFK.
Oh
That's a
my
bold move.
goodness, that was.
It's very bold.
Yeah. Transportation worked, so I made it to
Thank goodness,
JFK, no issues. But when I got to JFK, I remembered why
At
I
the time of
hate
your life.
JFK so much.
It's your favorite airport.
I turned New York myself as a New Yorker because I was really ticked off with TSA. First off, I get through TSA, or no, I'm sorry, I'm in the line for TSA, in the pre-check line, and it's just a mess going through JFK International because you have so many people trying to go through what seems like only four areas to check your bags and 4 screeners. And the TSA line only has one line. And somebody checked something in. And so the guys that were at the screener, there's 3 guys looking at this one bag and trying to figure out what to do with it. And so with this happening, everybody else is moving, but everybody in the TSA line is not moving. And they had to call in another buddy that came in.
Oh.
Is this someone else's bag or is this yours?
This is somebody else's bag, not mine. And for 4 to 5 minutes, we were just waiting there, trying to figure out what is going on. Nobody's saying anything. And then this guy comes in, looks at it, looks at what they see in the in the computer, and then they call another guy.
Is this
to
the
come
TSA
through.
pre-check line?
This is the TSA pre-check line.
And then the regular TSA was going faster.
Yes. And so finally, they're like, this guy can go through with his bag. But then that backed up everybody else. And so then it came to myself when I got through, and my bag got the choice of it needs extra screening. So they pull
lovely.
my bag from the, how it automatically ejects over and goes through its separate line. And here I am, I'm just waiting and waiting. And I waited about 5 minutes and I'm just yelling. I'm like, oh, this is New York. This is what we do here. And
Oh my
I'm
god.
You really did that?
yeah. I
my
got so
gosh.
upset. This one lady starts looking at me, TSA lady. I'm like, what? What? I was so upset. I turned New York. I turned New Yorker, I think. And
A little bit.
I was so upset. And finally somebody pops on in over here and like, oh, whose bag is this? I'm like, it's mine. Like, I've been waiting here for 5 minutes. Like, let's go. And they look at my bag, and I can't remember what it was. There was something else in there. And so then they re-put my bag through there, and still everybody else is waiting on their bags. And the problem is the screener, too, and, like, the short conveyor line that it is of everything coming out, the bags are going through faster than the people are. And so it was just backed up, and nobody could get their bags, and it's because the people are still trying to get through the machine of, hey, look, I got no metal on me or anything like that. It's a freaking nightmare. Just everything about JFK International, just the international side, because it's so small, is just a nightmare. I would not wish that upon anybody. I mean, if you hate your friends or your family members and you're booking
Oh my gosh.
flights for them to go international, then just book them through the lovely, beautiful TSA people who work at JFK International. You will have a pleasant experience.
Doesn't sound like that so much.
It's just I feel bad for people who come to this country and they have to go through that, and they're coming back to their home country.
Right.
TSA.
You would hope it's not that way like 24/7, and that hopefully you had like a bad shift, and like you ran into a bad crew.
I don't know.
I would like to give them the
Yeah,
benefit
you-
of the doubt.
This
You
is
would
like
hope,
the
but
third
yeah.
or fourth time I've gone through there, and I've always had something with them that happens. And it just, I remember one time they're like, we don't do TSA pre-check here. I'm like, well, you literally have a line here for TSA pre-check. And they're like, everybody's not TSA pre-check. Nope.
Ah,
I hate JFK.
that's horrible.
Oh, I'm just, kudos. Thank you for doing your job. However, so leaving JFK in the 747,
Yes, here we go. Now we're talking.
this was
Right.
wonderful. I wanted to say where the airplane was in relation to the gate. there
Where
was
the airplane was in relation to the gate.
whatever I'm trying to say.
I don't know what you're trying
What
to
I meant to say is right next to the gate.
Hopefully, it was close to the gate.
You would hope so, like
Dang.
the jet bridge.
Well, I mean,
Was the plane not close in relation to the gate?
okay. So right next to the gate, there was an actual like the massage place, the relaxing
A masseuse?
place, the people that
Yeah.
massage you. You know, I need,
What was that?
that was right next to the gate.
I meant that noise you made. But anyway, move on.
It's right next to the gate. There, you can actually see the 747 through there, and I thought it was kind of, cool.
Did
like
you get a massage?
relaxing.
Is this why you know that?
No, I just
Oh.
happened to see it, and I was like, "This is kind of cool." Where you're relaxing, getting a massage, and there's this just big old 747 just looking at you.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, so I left JFK. I think we left on time. Getting back in that 747, it had been about a year and a half since the last time I was in a 747.
Oh man, what a long time for you.
I
Wow.
know, right? Jeez.
I'm just saying. And yeah, Lufthansa, pretty good experience. It's never really a bad experience with them. Got to Frankfurt. I flew into Frankfurt, which was a very long approach into Frankfurt. But if you're arriving at sunrise, it's pretty cool to see, like just landing at that airport. And that was my third or fourth time landing there. I remember that was the first, my first European airport I ever arrived in was actually Frankfurt. But it was called Rhein-Main Air Base back in the day. It was owned by the Americans. Half of
interesting.
the airport. So yeah, it used to be called Rhein-Main Air Base. So
Did not know that.
Yep.
Me either. Or, with the exit row.
There you go. I think we gave it back to the Germans in the mid 2000s, late 2000s. So now it's Frankfurt Airport owns the whole airport now. So yeah, and they keep on expanding. So yeah,
So 747, how was it?
wonderful. I got nothing wrong.
I feel like we spent too much time on TSA and you're only spending 30 seconds on the 747. Then it's kind of disrespectful. So talk about it a little more if you can.
Okay, so
You flew on the 747.
Don't
Yeah.
disrespect the BB.
You just spent you spent 5 minutes talking about TSA, but we're only going to spend 30 seconds on the 747.
I mean,
I know,
you
right?
guys know how much I love the aircraft, and
So it shouldn't be hard to talk about it.
What do you want me to say?
Where'd you sit?
I flew it for 4.5
Sit-
years.
sit in
Okay,
the wing. Where'd you sit?
so I flew.
Don't yell at me, jeez.
Was it in the?
Yeah,
upper-
whoa.
He's getting irritable again.
So
What is this,
hostile.
New York? Shut up.
You guys.
He's
Sorry,
getting
my bad.
flashbacks to being
Sorry,
in the
my bad. I know
JFK
you're super
TSA line.
irritable.
Sorry. Yeah. No, I mean the experience.
You
Well,
sit
I
by a wing.
think
Where'd you sit?
so. I did text you guys, and I did tell you like, hey, I thought that texting was stupid price, $10 to text.
But when you're on an 8-hour flight, it is different. Like it's different when you're like going, domestic. But $10 for an 8-hour flight, that's really not that bad.
I don't know because I've flown Delta, United. I've flown them over overseas to Europe, and it's free texting the whole way.
Right, but if you have to pay for it, like I'm sure some people do. Yeah. But yeah, when you're relating it to other airlines, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I always find that's the thing with the Lufthansa is and their whole group. So everybody like that's under them, Brussels Airlines. Who else? Not Air France. Somebody else is in there. Condor. They all are trying to make money off of everything. So if you want a seat, they want to make more money off of you for picking your seat. It's just everything that they do is for money, which
Yeah, welcome to the
airlines
airline industry,
do
brother.
that.
Yeah.
That's called the airline
But-
industry.
I guess maybe it's me being on Delta and all that, and some of these other airlines, you don't pay for your seat.
But you're also paying it for it in a more expensive ticket. You could also argue that when you fly things like Delta, certain things are free when you have a more expensive ticket. It all
Yeah,
balances out.
I suppose. I suppose you're correct. Yeah. But yeah, so flying the 747 though, I mean, like it's always a smooth ride. I never have any issues with it, and I just love flying it. So
Man, yeah, I wish. Hopefully someday, maybe one day I will.
Same here.
Because I liked how Adama was like, it's been a year and a half since I flew it. I'm like, it's been 12 hours since you flew last. Shut up. Like, dude,
yeah,
come
we'll
on.
talk about that later. So yeah, I get to the Frankfurt airport and make my way back to Milan Malpensa. and I took
Shout out to the wife.
shout out. And yeah, it was a. Other than that, that's all I got to say about that part of that trip. So on that note, we will be right back, and we'll talk about the second part of my trip. And yeah, we'll be right back.
All right, guys, welcome back. Adama, you have part 2 of your European adventure.
Part 2 of my European adventure. Yes, so I took EasyJet out of Milano Malpensa up to Prague, and I have to say it's always great when you get to take the air stairs.
Yes,
Always.
can confirm.
Love it. So yeah, I got to walk up to the aircraft. So Malpensa Airport, EasyJet actually has Terminal 2 all to themselves. So
wow.
the rest of the airport, everybody else goes through there. But EasyJet, they have way too many planes that go there, and so they have their own terminal, which is completely out of the way. You have to get a subway or had to take the metro or the train to get to that part of the airport. Not the train, the bus. But it is kind of like in the middle of the runways where Terminal 2
The
is.
terminal is in the middle of the runways.
Yes.
That doesn't sound good.
No.
It's like at the end of.
In between runways, maybe is what you mean.
I'm trying to
how
visual.
can
I'm
something
trying to
be in
put
the
this
middle of the
together in
runway?
my head
Sorry.
right now.
So it's
As
at
we've known in previous
So-
podcasts, you
so-
do have trouble with words.
I do. So it's at the end of the runways, but it's kind
That
of
would
like
make more sense.
also in the middle of the end of the runways.
I'm just gonna say go on because
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to look at this on a map.
All right.
To be honest.
So anyways, so yes.
I like to think it's just in the middle of the runway, and that just makes
Right.
sense.
It's completely yes. You gotta.
That's what you said.
I know. Okay.
V1 rotate very soon.
Yeah.
And no planes literally land or take off because it's impossible. Yeah. So there's no traffic in or out of there.
No. So yeah. Anyways, I flew out to Prague and did spent a few days there in Prague.
Had you been to Prague before?
Yeah, that was my second time. But this time I went ahead and did a few extra days by going and visiting other cities in the Czech Republic. And yeah, it was wonderful. Even went to Pilsen, so I got to go see the Pilsen Urquell brewery. So that was pretty cool. They make a lot of beer, so it was cool to go to their brewery. And then from there, I took Brussels Airlines out to Brussels from Prague, and I got on a special livery, the Star Alliance livery.
Nice. Yes.
I was super excited about that. And then from there, I took from Brussels, which that was my third or fourth time through that airport. Because my first assignment in the Air Force outside of my first European assignment was in Belgium. So I have memories of flying back through that airport multiple times. I also remember there was that terrorist attack that occurred in that airport in like 2010. So after I left Brussels, I remember there was the terrorist attack there. But the Brussels airport, much better than it was back in the day. And it was weird to see that there's a Dunkin' now in Belgium. So they have Dunkin' Donuts, but they call it Dunkin' in Belgium.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's what they're transitioning all over, by the way, just Dunkin'.
Oh, to
Yeah.
Dunkin'.
That's what the way it is here in America. Yeah.
Okay. And I think it kind of replaced where the Starbucks used to be. So when Starbucks came to Belgium, it first started off in the airport in Brussels, and then it moved outside the airport. So I think Dunkin' has replaced it now. And I think there's still a Starbucks in there. But so I left there. I took an Air Canada 787. And I took some notes from it, especially since the person I was right next to has flown Air Canada quite a bit because they lived in Canada.
Was it the toothpaste livery?
No, I wish it was.
Those Dreamliners are sweet.
I love
Right.
seeing that toothpaste.
You were
livery.
originally on the toothpaste, but it changed.
That I didn't know. Thank you, Paige, for telling me that.
Yeah.
The more I know.
Those toothpaste 787s are
Thanks,
nice.
Flighty.
I love seeing
Right.
it. And I saw it when I landed in Toronto. So yeah, I left Brussels to go to Toronto. The passenger next to me, she called it, her and her family call Air Canada Air Caca.
Okay.
The whole
Okay.
and I'm gonna
Wow.
that's how I start with Air Canada. It's such a the only thing that was nice about it was just the food. That was about it. And usually the food is not good on
Not the-
airlines.
Yeah.
That was probably the only thing that was enjoyable about that experience with
Well, that says
Air
a lot.
Canada. And
Wow.
those who know the aviation industry in Canada, they have they got Flair, they got Porter, Air Canada,
WestJet.
WestJet, Swoop.
Swoop is being purchased by WestJet, actually.
They have a lot of. I didn't know that, but now
Yeah.
I know.
They've been together, yeah.
They have a lot of problems with the aviation industry in Canada, and such as she was telling me that for a 45-minute flight in Canada from was it not Montreal, but it was somewhere else, somewhere in Quebec, going to Toronto cost them about $1,000.
No.
The airline industry, it's so expensive to fly in Canada. And it goes to show, even with Air Canada, and Justin, here you can see this bag, which I gave to you. This is what they give you, those who are watching on the video.
An amenity kit.
Their amenity kit for premium economy is just a little
Look at these
grocery.
handles.
Massive tote.
It's
It's
a
a grocery
bag.
sack.
Which I
That's
mean,
so weird.
it's weird when you find out like how it was used. It's a good bag like outside of the airplane, but like
Exactly.
just knowing what you got in it is kind of odd. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great bag outside of the airplane.
Outside. but
Yeah.
inside the airplane, you're thinking you're going to get something nice, like right here again on the video. Lufthansa 747, they do their amenity kits through Porsche. So Porsche Design has these amenity kits, and you get this
I don't know. I kind of prefer this Trader Joe's style bag.
like, it's I guess she also stated that this bag is what they've been giving everybody for the last 2 years. So they have
Consistency. I
they
like it.
don't refresh anything. I wrote that the Wi-Fi was dumb, and this is why I'm going to explain it. You could get free Wi-Fi, free texting. However, you had to have an Aeroplan, their version of their miles program. You had to have an account with them, and the only way that you could get that free texting is you had to, before you checked in, you had to put your Aeroplan number in, and mine wasn't in there.
That was the only way to get it.
That's the only way to get it. And so when you're on the plane, they then tell you free Wi-Fi is available and texting if you're an Aeroplan member. Make sure though next time that you go ahead and put your information in through
That's so
aircanada.com.
weird.
Yeah.
I
I get it doing before it, but the fact that that's the only way.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was, or you had to go pay a ridiculous fee. And I'm like, well, I'm an Airplan
Wait,
member.
so there was an option. I mean, I get it's ridiculous, but there was an option.
There was an option
Okay,
if
so-
I'm
well, that's
correct.
different.
But I
That is
think it was
different.
something ridiculous like $30.
Right. But even if it's $100, I'm just saying there at least was an option.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But for those who are Aeroplan members, I think about those who
That's weird.
who
Yeah, right?
who don't, oh, I forgot to put it in there. Now I can't text on a 8-hour flight that I could have for free.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. And it was the same with the A220 that I took afterwards. It was the same thing where I didn't have it in there because I didn't know. And so
I wonder if you can like add it at the gate, like with the agent. I wonder
no,
if that's possible.
Well, before you checked in though, it had to be before you checked in,
I'm just trying to think of like any other way. Like if it's even before you board the air, like if there any chance.
right? I don't know. So yeah, I guess I could have asked the person next to me. I'm like, hey, do you have your airplane number so I can like use your last name and seat number because that's how you log in for your free Wi-Fi
That's interesting.
or the free texting. And I guess I could have done that, but
Assuming they allow multiple people to use it, but yeah,
right.
it'd be worth a shot.
So yeah, back to the Air Canada.
So yeah, you're validated. Wi-Fi was dumb. You're right.
It's a
Yeah.
little bit dumb. So let's see. I wrote. This is the first time I've ever experienced. Usually, when you go international, you get your meal first, your big meal first, and then you usually
The
get.
lamb shoulder. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Exactly.
Back to that day. And then you go back, and then right before you land, you get like some sort of quick snack to eat. Well, this one was a little different. So Air Canada, I guess, you get a tiny prop. they gave you a snack pack about 3.5 hours prior to landing. So they did give a little extra snack beforehand. Granted, it was like like those Dots twist pretzels.
I love Dots.
Me too.
I love Dots.
It was the Canadian version of it. So
like Ted's. I don't know. What
I don't know.
I don't know what Dots is. I didn't know there was a Canadian version of Dots.
There's a Canadian version, some company that had like chives and stuff on it. Like, it was all right. It was okay. Dreamliner. So yeah, I took the Dreamliner, and what was really cool.
What variant was it? The 8, 9, 10? Do you remember?
I think it was the 8.
8. The stubby boy.
I like how Paige has the T. You're like,
She knows it
and then
more than
Paige
me,
just
right?
has it right on cue.
I know my aircraft.
Yes, it was the
Oh, it's
800. So, for those who don't know, they laminate their safety cards.
Smart.
So with the 800, they actually have a window in one of the bathrooms,
Oh.
and I was super excited about it. When I got into the bathroom, because with the Dreamliners, it does have the windows that are
Buttons.
the buttons.
Yeah.
So I actually went in there. I'm like, I wonder if I can actually touch it myself too, because they had it under that mode of they were in that part of the flight where everything was dark. They had control of everybody's windows, and so I went in there and I actually was able to make it brighter and actually open it up, and I was like, this is so cool.
That's funny. That's kind of like a weird hack. It's like so when they are in control of
Right.
the plane, if you use the bathroom window, that like is on it's got its own.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I went ahead and put it back to its normal setting. But inside the bathroom too, they also the lavatory. They also had some maple leaves in there too. So
Aw.
the lavatory it was nice inside. It was decent. I didn't do a Lou review, but there's your Lou review. So one of the things I want to talk about was their IFE, their in-flight entertainment. So I usually bring my laptop or my iPad, so I have something to watch because I don't always, like what's there.
Yeah.
And so what I usually do is I like to put the air mapping software on there. I like to see where the plane is, where we're going, the speed.
You're a nav geek. We understand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right.
really like the cockpit view too. I'm like, all right, what elevation are we at? What knots are we going at? The lady next to me, her husband actually creates some of that software.
Whoa, that's cool.
And she was telling me about how Air Canada is terrible. And because I was like, yeah, this software is like really outdated. It's like 3-4 years old. I just got off Lufthansa and it's amazing, their software and like their mapping software. She's like, yeah, it's the Canadians. We're just slow at it. But like he created like Lufthansa. He's created it for all of those across
Cool.
the
Wow.
globe. And so
Huge.
and so she's like, yeah, Air Canada's just they're just slow on everything. And it's just the Canadian way of doing things right now. And they're So yeah, I just was like, okay, well, yeah, okay, I guess I'm not wrong.
I
in
mean,
my thoughts about it.
it's too bad Redway couldn't stick around long enough to get that
So,
software.
Redway. I miss it.
What a shout out there. That was just out of nowhere.
Speaking of shout out to Randall. Hey,
Too, yeah.
there you go.
Shout out. What up, Dad?
I think the only other thing that I thought was interesting was with Air Canada, they were very concerned about people not listening in on the safety brief, and
How so?
they literally were like pulling people's headphones off of
Oh,
them.
seriously?
Wait, are you dead serious? Like they
Yeah.
would literally pull someone's headphones off?
Yes.
I don't
like
believe
they're
you.
like, are
I
you
do not believe
listening?
you.
Are you listening to the safety brief? And like, yeah, it's connected into there. And they're like, they were just
Basically pulling headphones off? Wow.
yeah. Well, I didn't even tell you with my EasyJet aircraft, they were physically not physically, but the flight
air.
attendants were coming in and like actually pushing people's buttons to make their seats go forward.
Now, I have seen that happen on flights when, like, if they've gone by once and they say something. But
No, they literally were just walking and then like.
no, that's what I mean. I've seen it before, but like not like just first off.
I was just like,
First word.
okay, all right.
That's crazy.
Pulling
Oh
off
my
your
God.
headphones though, like, that's weird.
That's really
Well,
weird.
okay, it wasn't.
I mean,
It was the Air Canada headphones. It wasn't.
Well, still, if you're wearing them, that doesn't mean still
Yeah.
no different. No different.
It was weird.
Yeah, I mean, on my flight back from Dublin, they were very, very. Yeah, I know
There's
y'all
a
are
there's
gonna.
a there's a
There
Dublin
we-
flight
Yeah.
shout out.
There we go.
They were like that too, though. They were like, "You guys need to take off your earbuds and your headphones," and they were very, very. They made sure to state that several times to take the earbuds out.
Yeah.
They
It,
don't mess around.
it was just odd. So they really wanted you to get that safety brief. So
Oh, yeah.
got to Toronto. When you get to the Toronto airport, you are just like I did earlier in the year when I went to the Bahamas. You can check in through TSA, pre-check through Toronto, and you are in America. So that was easy. Just took a A220, another A220,
Another one.
another one, and made it back to Chicago. No issues to Chicago. Met up with Paige. We went to another soccer game. Go LA Galaxy, even if they lost.
Ugh.
But went to Soldier Field this time.
Yeah, territory of the Bears, kind of a
Chicago
rival
Bears.
of my Vikings, but you know.
No Bears.
Uh,
So yeah, and then I went to Wrigley the next day. So
Nice.
had to make that knock that off my bucket list. And then Paige.
oh boy, you guys.
It turned on your volume if you have it on high volume. Just turn it down
Yeah,
a little
just
bit.
a little
like
bit.
like just gonna warn you ahead of time. Here we go.
Oh man.
All right. So I left you.
It stands donuts.
I left you at Stan's Donuts. And you, ma'am. So here I'm at Wrigley and I get a text message. It is going down. Paige needs help. Explain. What happened?
So I stuck around at Stan's Donuts to spot a little bit before going to Midway. And I see a Lufthansa 747 land. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I click on it. And to those of y'all who know my history with D-ABYA registration, big history with her. I built a model of her 6.5 years ago. Got a die-cast model of her for my grandpa before he passed away last year. My dad got this model kit for me for Christmas. Been tracking her all around the world since then.
Obsession would be putting it lightly.
Very
She's
light.
my baby. I've always hoped I would get to see her in person. So I click on the 747 that just landed at O'Hare, and I was photographing the departures at O'Hare, and guess who it was?
I'm shocked that you didn't even know it was there. First off, the fact that it crept up on you, like for someone that
did?
tracks
That's
it,
correct.
for someone that tracks it daily.
Well, I looked the day before, and her flight wasn't loaded on there yet, so it loaded that morning. And
That's almost the best way.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly.
unexpected, and I was for sure thinking I was not going to see her because
Oh, yes. Your text message showed I'm just going to have to give up. I'm going to have to hope that she's going to arrive at LAX. You were having a meltdown.
I was, because O'Hare is not an easy place to spot at, and that's most especially true if the plane is parked. But I saw where she went and parked, what gate she was at, and then I started scouting around. I started scouting around some parking lots that could possibly be there. I went to Google Maps and then went to Live View and was circling around trying to see something that had a perfect view, because my flight departed like an hour after her departure, and I was at Midway, so like a 45-minute drive wasn't going to work. And I found this spot, and it was kind of, I wouldn't say in the middle of nowhere, but it was a little bit secluded. It really was just a dirt parking lot, you know. And so I put a pin there. I called up an Uber, got an Uber to Midway, but put a stop at this parking lot. And I told the Uber driver my story. I was like, hey, I know this is crazy. Like, this is weird. We're just going to this random dirt parking lot. And I described the whole thing to her. And, you know, with our podcast and our aviation photography, and told her, you know, why I wanted to see this plane. And she was like, okay. We got lost a couple times trying to find this place, but we ended up going in the right direction. And we come up over the hill on the road that was leading to this parking lot. And I saw her. I saw her tail just pop up out, and I was like, oh,
What's
my
up,
God.
girl?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was just like, oh, it was so surreal. Like, it's just so hard
You
to
know
find
anything
words,
about
like,
Paige, like it was probably a very loud and audible moment.
Oh, God, yes. Effie boy.
Like I don't know if you know anything about like the sounds of a Taylor Swift concert. I kind of allude that to like when Paige sees planes.
And
Like,
that's
it's
kind of
very
true.
loud and it's a loud noise. Anyway,
I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, there she is! Like, I just couldn't even believe it because I just wondered if I would ever get to see her. And we were approaching this parking lot, and the view of her just kept getting better and better as we got closer. And my Uber driver, she's like, turn left in this parking
Sorry.
lot, and it's just like it just kept getting better and better. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, and it was fairly close. Like the only thing separating me from her was a road. And I mean, I couldn't even have my
And a
camera.
fence.
Oh God, yeah, the fence, unfortunately, but
prison time.
Hopefully.
yeah, yeah.
Unlike the one time I got to see her.
Oh, at LAX,
Yeah.
yeah.
There was no fence. It was just a
I know.
concrete barrier that was not far.
But you know what? I was like, it's okay. Like the pictures weren't bad. I was so close to her. Let's put it this way. She didn't
How
even.
close were you?
Oh my gosh. I did not have to zoom in at all, and she was barely in frame totally. So I mean, I could see like every single detail, and I just like stopped and like stood there and stared at her. I was like, it just didn't even seem real that like after 6.5 years, kid wanting to see this plane, and all the times I've been to LAX and all these other airports that she goes to, like when we went to Fort Lauderdale and Miami, like maybe she was going to be there today. I flew out. All the times I've been to LAX, all the times I've been to Chicago, and like just finally getting to see her, like it was so surreal. And we stayed there for a few minutes before I did have to go to Midway because I was flying out of there. Got a few good pictures of her. It was heartbreaking leaving, obviously. That's my baby. I'm just wondering if I'd ever see her again. Hopefully in LAX. She'll come visit me
It's like the
again.
Dumb and Dumber scene when he's like, "Goodbye, my love."
Yes, it was like it was emotional getting there. It was emotional leaving.
Oh, I'm sure that was an emotionally charged few minutes there while you were
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's hard to find the words to adequately describe that event, I think. But yeah, I'd always like dreamed of that, and finally getting to see her was crazy and awesome. So I do have my little D-ABYA models here that I built. Here, she's large. That's the one I built when she was
there.
in
That is
her
a huge
full
model.
delivery. She's
Yes.
massive. And then here's my die-cast one over here. So those are my abayas.
Yankee Alpha.
Good for you, though.
My
Good for you.
baby.
It's been a long time coming.
Yes.
It really has.
I mean, yeah.
But hey, maybe this is like kind of, you got to see the ball go through the hoop one time. Maybe you'll see her every trip now. Maybe you just had to break the seal. Maybe that's
Exactly.
That's the bright side, right?
Maybe she was just nervous to meet me. But now
Now she met you and she's like, "Whoa, this chick is a lot."
yeah, she's like
So it turns
this
out
is all I
turns out
needed.
D-ABYA is breaking it off with you.
No, she better not be. That's my child.
All right. Well, now you got to fly her.
Yes. Yes, that is the goal. And I do plan on flying that Lufthansa 747 out of either at least LAX or O'Hare so that I can get the 800 and have that possibility of her would obviously be my number one choice, but then Yankee Tangy is also an 800. So
Not that we're greedy, but if you had a choice, yes.
if I had a choice, yeah, even though Yankee Tangy is a special abaya all the way. I mean, yeah, that would be the most special to me. So
Well, we hope you can get on it one day.
I would have to have someone carry me on and off.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
On because I would be limp legs, noodles, and couldn't walk. I would probably maybe pass out. And carry me off, you would have to
this
force
sounds
me
like
off.
this sounds like an assignment for Adama.
You would have to force me off of her, off of that plane. You would have to force me off.
get off the plane.
I can't. We are
Uh,
one now.
Again, just go to Frankfurt and just camp there one day and find out whichever airport she's going to. Hopefully you can get a visa real quick, or you're allowed to go to that country if it's not America.
Yeah, and then just book a last minute flight. It'll be super cheap for
yeah,
sure.
Oh,
that.
yeah, definitely.
totally can do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll be right back.
BRB. All right. Welcome back to the exit row. We're on the home stretch right now. We're going to take a week off of the sports segment. Some well-needed rehabilitation on that segment needed. But we're moving on to Paige's polls, or should I say poll? But we had a good one. It might just be one, but it's a good one. So what do you want to talk about? Or what did you ask the fine people?
So first of all, do we want to introduce this? Adama?
Okay, sorry. Here we go.
Oh, my bad.
Paige's polls. Paige's polls. Paige's
Polls.
Even
You
though
two
it's
are
just,
so cute.
Even though it's just a poll.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with this one, it's just one. So this is kind of a good one, and I'm truly kind of shocked I hadn't mentioned this before, but our last podcast kind of got me thinking about it because we did discuss this a little bit. Do you prefer to fly during the day or at night?
Night.
And
Okay.
why? / any other time. And you two are on the same page. I'm not. Day 1, 75%, with night at 25%.
What up,
A
25%?
vote of
Yeah.
12 to 4.
12-4. Okay.
Yep.
Anybody had a response first before we all
Did people
talk
give
about
reasoning?
It? Yeah. What's the
Yeah.
reasons?
So we had a few reasonings. Jet Set Shirts starting off.
Typical responder. Love it.
Yep. I love his support.
See him
Yep,
soon?
Absolutely. Yeah, we will. This month, actually.
Yes, we will.
So he says day, all those scenery views. Night, cozy vibes, but sunrise and sunset are the best, and I agree with that.
Sunset or sunset?
Sunset, sorry.
All right.
Yeah, so golden hour, that's my preferable. It's either that or daytime. Not a huge fan of night, although it is nice if I want to sleep or, an overnight flight, but yeah, we're all daytime for me. Tanner spots planes. You get to see
Shout out Tanner.
everything.
Tanner's
Yep.
about to go on his first flight this month, so
He's never
Yeah?
flown?
he's never flown before.
I guess I don't know.
No
but
way.
Shout out to Tanner.
Super happy for him.
Well, he flew on the tri-motor, but so this is
Yeah,
a
this is
commercial flight.
his first commercial.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that on recently.
Tanner, I don't know who you are, but that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Shout out Tanner.
He said, you get to see everything during the daytime, but like Adama said, referring to last podcast, night is also cool to see all the city lights. I do
Love
agree
it.
with that. Established on the Run says night, stars, city lights, and storms hit different at night in the sky. Storms.
Word.
I do agree with that. That'd be
Storms,
cool, I think.
absolutely.
Walker Nixon, night is more peaceful and daytime has better views and doesn't require red eye flights. So, yes.
Yeah.
Evan with aviation, about late afternoon, I think flights are less heavy, more seats available. So that's nice, for people like him who non-rev. You have more open seats.
Yep.
So yeah, like I said, I'm day. I enjoy day a lot more.
Give me that
day or-
nighttime.
Day or golden hour for me is what I prefer. So
And Justin, we know where you're at.
Yo, well, I mean, yeah, I'm not, like I said to you guys off air, I'm not against one or the other, but I don't mind a night flight at all. I'm going to go night. But,
love it.
I mean, I'll fly during the day. No problem.
I mean, think about flying into LAX at night too.
I've done it twice. I've never flown there in the daytime, but God willing, everything goes fine next week. I will be. So
Hopefully you don't get anything. Yeah, with your next flight.
We all know that's not true.
You're gonna have something.
don't jinx it because the weather's fine right now. Don't jinx it.
All right. So speaking of, I just wanted. So yeah, nighttime. I love all the lights at the airport too. I just love seeing.
That's what I mean. There's something about the ambiance of just the lights. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to talk about. I'm going to change the topic.
Oh, okay.
Super excited. You guys know me about the SAOC.
Sayok.
Mayok, shmayok.
Just saying that finally the first 747 has landed, removed of. I mean, it still has the Korean Air
The colors.
colors.
It does
but
look cool with the decal stripped. It does. That color comes out even more.
It does. They
It
should
looks
just
great.
keep it like
Yeah,
that.
it looked great.
It looks great.
Welcome home, BB.
And I think it landed in. I think it was
Dayton,
Dayton,
Ohio.
Yeah, Dayton,
Dayton, yeah.
Ohio.
Can you imagine the jet tip high priority alerts for that one?
Oh, there you
yeah.
go.
Oh,
Like what would they have called it? SAOC. I'm like
right?
Probably Korean Air 747.
Or
At the time, it was probably
Korean Air 747.
Yeah.
No,
No titles.
no titles. There you go.
Titles, yeah. Naked.
There you go. So yeah, it has landed, and so
1 of 5, right?
1 of 5.
Yeah.
Sierra Nevada is going to go ahead and take ownership of that aircraft and get going. So nice to see that
Good old
it's
Sayaki.
finally moving forward. I've been knowing about this for a while. Now and it's finally happening. So I'm excited to see the future of the NAOC slash
Schmaoc.
SAOC.
Now, do you feel a little bit? I don't know that sad is the word, but
He clearly just said he's pretty excited. So
well, the part I'm talking about is like, do you feel a little bit like
I think she's talking about if you reminisce now.
well, if this had happened, like, you were still in. Like, do you feel a little bit sad that this didn't happen when you were still in, that you don't get to fly these?
No.
No.
I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for
You want to think about that at all?
there's a no. Hopefully maybe I'll be able to get on it, just for one flight, but
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the future of this program and what it's going to do for the United States. So, and I'm glad that there will be future generations of airmen who are going to be able to, airmen, Marines, sailors. I don't know what we call our Space Force. Guardians, they're called guardians.
Astronauts.
Astronauts.
Space Force
Space people.
and did I forget Navy? I'm not sure. But anyways, for all the future generations of our military to get to experiences. So it'll be good for them. It'd be nice to be on it, but
It'll be weird seeing like an 8-year-old E4B flying around. Just used to it saying like 50 years old.
50 years
I
old, right?
know.
Whatever it is, 65, one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Weird seeing a young E4B.
Yeah, there's only
baby.
one that is, I think it's 750125. So tail number 125, I think, was in 1975. So that's the oldest of the youngest of the 4 E4Bs that we have.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it'll be cool. Excited for the future. So SAOC, keep on going. On that note, let's go ahead and close it up with talking about what we're all doing. And next week,
Oh my god.
Paige is excited. So headed out to LAX, and we all have 3 different adventures to get to LAX.
It's the only way to do it.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and start off with mine because I'm going to start a little bit earlier than you 3. I'm leaving next Tuesday, headed out to Madison, Wisconsin.
Adama, it's been about 24 hours. You're due for a flight.
Yeah, I know.
I know. What have you even done with your life in these last days? Like, you
Good
must
Lord, man.
be just
So lame.
suffering right now.
Sometimes I am. So I'm going to fly to Minneapolis and then go land in Madison, Wisconsin. Going to spend the night there because what I'm doing is I'm taking the Breeze Airlines A220.
Ooh.
Yep. Through their Breeze through. So that flight will start at in Orlando that morning and we'll come up to Madison. And I'm taking that A220 out to LAX directly. And then on the way, well, if Paige, you're going to come in, then when are you leaving?
Thursday. So on the 13th, I'll be leaving, taking United for the first time, your favorite airline.
Yeah, Adama loves United.
Started.
Yeah.
See, I didn't talk about Colorado Springs and coming back. So
No, it was just that traumatizing.
That was even more an irritable experience.
Right.
We just left out more Adama anger is all we did.
So I'll be taking the A320 from United out of Omaha over to Denver, one of my favorite airport.
it's your anniversary.
My Deniversary. Yeah.
We were just talking about that.
Yep. And then I'm going to cross off one of my biggest bucket list items in aviation, which is flying the Boeing 757-300.
Nice. That's the true pencil, by the way. I like
It is.
My hot take is the 200. It's not the pencil. It's the 300.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be on the 300. Definitely going to get me some Prosecco on board. Going to celebrate this experience. I'm so excited. I haven't flown a big plane, obviously, since Dublin. Let's throw that back in there again.
The 757 is awesome, but it takes so long to board the 757.
That's
so long to
understandable.
board,
Yeah.
But it is awesome. Yeah, it is awesome. I've flown the 300. The first time I ever went to LAX was on the 300.
Yeah.
Nice. I know I have in the past. I just don't have it logged right now. Nice.
That's
All
gonna be
right.
awesome though. That's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, I'm beyond excited.
Happy for you. Justin.
Yeah, what up? Yeah, I'll be joining you guys. As the originator of these LAX trips, we still alive? I think we're gonna keep going.
Yeah, the camera is just in IFR right now. So
Yeah, I'll be heading out on Saturday, so I'm coming in a little later. Adama will be there for a near week by the time I get out there.
yeah, I know.
Making a quick stop in Dallas for the NBA Finals, Game 4. Shout out to the brother. We're gonna have a great
Excited
time.
for you.
You guys have no idea. You're excited for me, bro. And then I'll be out there Saturday. So I mean, it's a big deal for me with the NBA Finals. I canceled a flight on the 777 for this flight, and if you're an Av geek, it's a big deal to do that. It's a big deal to do that because I've never flown on the 200 variant. I've been on the 300 variant, but not the 200. So canceled that flight because certain events have occurred where I have to find myself in Dallas to see the Mavericks and the Celtics. But then I'll join you guys Saturday, post 24-hour stream. So shout out Airline Videos Live. I wish I could see you guys again, but I'll catch you another time, I'm sure. But I'm sending Paige and Adama in my place. How about that?
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
And this is going to be your first time meeting the AVL crew.
Yeah. Yeah, we were there last year, but we figured they would be too tired and want to interact with all the fans and whatnot, being up for 24 hours.
When it
But
Oh, wait, you were wrong.
yeah. Yeah. And that's when we first really started watching them and understanding how they interact with their fans. I was like,
We've come a long
know?
way. I remember back in like I just mentioned off air, like me letting you guys up to the top of the H, you would stay somewhere else, and now you're big fans of AVL. Now
Right?
you not only stay there, but you also are huge fans of AVL. So
yeah.
I'm like watching you guys learn. You guys picked up quickly. You did.
Paige is the one that is religiously on AVL. So
I thought I was a big fan, but no, Paige is like, she's one of those chat people. Like, I don't know how you keep up with the chat. I literally don't.
it's so quick. I don't.
Chat isn't
It is
the
quick.
chat is not for me.
I'm not in it like all the time, 100%.
Yes, you are.
That's a lie.
Yes, you are.
Not
You are.
100%.
You
of the
totally
time.
are.
I have moments where I'm not in there and I'm just watching because, as y'all said, it does go very fast. So there's
I don't know how
times where
people
I'm
keep
just
up
like,
with it. I really don't. It takes away from me watching AVL. It really does.
Like, how do the modders? Shout out to the modders, but how do you keep up? I don't
yeah.
get it. Every
And
time
the mods
something
are
comes in.
so quick to yeet unruly comments too. Like, so they do a really good job.
Okay. So we're all leaving on Monday.
Yes.
That's the plan.
So it's kind of funny now that we've all figured out that we're all going to be at Denver together at the same
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So Paige and I we're going to leave. We are headed up to, is it Salt Lake City? Yeah, Salt Lake City first, and then to Denver. The reason why is because Salt Lake City to Denver has the A220. So I'm getting my second A220 of this trip knocked out through Delta, and I'm doing it 3 different airlines. So I already did Breeze A220. This one will be the Delta A220. We're both going to get to Denver. Justin, you're leaving later.
Yeah, I do not check out early. You guys always leave early. I like to make the most of my day in LA. But yeah.
That makes sense. This is the only way I was able to get the A220 that day. So yes, I'm leaving early. That's why. Because I wanted this trip to be my A220 trip. So I'm knocking them all out. All the American
It's happening. Yeah.
A220s. So you're going to get up to Denver. We're going to see you for a little bit. Then you're going to
If
leave.
I decide to see you, yeah, that's true.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
You'll
And-
probably have whisked Paige away to some lounge.
Probably not.
Probably not with JetBlue. I don't think JetBlue has lounges.
There's no lounge. Yeah, there's gonna be no lounge access there.
Maybe I'll have to get you in then.
There you go.
I mean, hey, yeah.
That'd be nice. So we'll meet you there. You're gonna take off back to Omaha. Paige is then gonna take off to Omaha.
On my baby SWA.
You're going SWA. You're taking American, United,
No, United.
and then I'm taking JetBlue out
To Omaha? Interesting.
to Boston. I'm going to Boston on a
Overnight, too.
red
Red
eye
eye. Ugh.
to get my third A220 knocked out
That's
on
dedication.
this trip, which also would be my 4th A220 in June.
Oh, my
Since I had the Air
goodness.
Canada A220.
Man,
And then
must be nice to be rich.
Right?
or I just have a lot of miles and got to use them all. So I don't have to, but I'm using them. And then I'm going to be flying back to Omaha on that Tuesday? Yeah, that Tuesday.
I don't even remember what airline you're taking.
I don't know.